Okay, I am calling to order the Finance Committee meeting of January 28th, 2025. First item of business is, may I have an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, we have a second. I've got both. Okay. So Jill moved and Peter seconded. So roll call and Joe,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. I am now going to open it up for public comment. And seeing no hands raised, I will close it for public comment. Okay. So on the agenda today is discussion, deliberation, and potential motions for citizen warrant Article O, which is now the Article 100 in the adopted warrant for the annual town meeting 2025. Real estate acquisition 3579 South Shore Road. I got an email from Ms. Perry a couple hours before the meeting stating that she is unable to attend. I did inform her that we would be discussing her article and potentially making a motion on it today. So she is aware of that. And with that, Jill, go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Is Mr.
course.
Haverty going to represent her at town meeting as well? So I just
don't-
wondered if he could address that in his comments.
Okay. I don't know who Mr. Haverty is. So Mr. Haverty, if you would. Hi.
I do not represent Ms. Perry. I actually represent the person Surfside Crossing LLC.
Mr. Haverty, we can't,
Yep.
we're unable to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's good.
Okay, sorry. I do not represent Ms. Perry. I represent Surfside Crossing LLC.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I just meant, are you going to also be doing that at town meeting when she speaks? Sorry, Mr. Haverty.
That's okay. I have not yet discussed that with my client, whether they want me to appear at town meeting or not. Certainly, if they want me to be there, I'll be there.
Okay, thank you. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. So
Nice
John,
to meet you also.
John, I'm going to turn it over to you because I believe that town council has an opinion on this article, and I'd like you to share that with the finance committee, please.
Thank you, Denise, and good afternoon, everyone. Ms. Perry had come to see me during town council office hours and expressed an interest in a warrant article that would authorize the taking of Surfside Crossing property by eminent domain. I explained to her that there would need to be an identification of the public purposes for which the land was going to be taken by eminent domain. I also discussed with her that town meeting would not only have to authorize the taking, but it would have to appropriate a sufficient amount of money to pay what we call land damages, which would be the fair market value of the property to be taken, which is generally considered based upon the highest and best use. And I informed her that the town would have to conduct an appraisal, a professional appraisal, in order to establish that value by engaging at least one appraiser, that it would presumably have to be a borrowing contingent on a Proposition 2.5 debt exclusion vote. And most importantly, perhaps most importantly, I'll withdraw that. In addition, I indicated that even if all those steps were achieved and town meeting voted by the necessary 2/3 vote to take the land by eminent domain and appropriate the money, and assuming further that a debt exclusion ballot question were approved, and that special election, by the way, would have to be within 90 days of the special town meeting. Even if all those steps were achieved, this is only an authorization for the select board to act. Town meeting cannot compel the select board to take the land by eminent domain. They can only authorize it. And then I had a lengthy conversation with her about what I will call the public purpose rule, which is that the town can only take land by eminent domain for a valid public purpose. And while on its face, the way this article is drafted, I did not draft this, she did, but it does certainly state valid public purposes. However, I informed her, and I believe it's in my chart, that there has been case law in Massachusetts, specifically in the context of 40B projects, where courts have found that it have invalidated a taking based upon a finding by the court of bad faith, in that it was evident that the purpose of the taking was to stop a 40B project. The one case I cited was Burlington, Pheasant Ridge Development versus Burlington. And in that case, the court said that there had been no identification of this, of the parcel during, numerous efforts by the town to identify land for open space, because that's what it was taken for in the Pheasant Ridge case, and that it was clearly a pretext to stop a 40B. And so the court invalidated the taking. And so that, of course, is going to be an issue here, should it get that far. We all know that this has been a very contentious 40B process. It is on remand to the Zoning Board of Appeals. The case is going to probably continue to wind its way through the courts, but it's very much an active 40B at this point. So those were my cautions to the petitioner, and I would repeat those to the Finance Committee, and I've already repeated those cautions to the Select Board.
Thank you, John. Questions from the committee for John? Peter?
Well, not for John, but I guess the question I can throw out anywhere is everybody should be aware that the land that she's specifying the nursing home could be built on this property, but the land that the nursing home is being built on is already owned by the town. We don't have to pay for it. So in order for us to go onto this property, we'd have to pay for it, which would increase the $100 million that we're spending now to who knows how much, $120, $130 million. So everybody should be aware of that. Secondarily, I know that that Megan has complained about traffic on her roads. If we had playing fields, the traffic is going to be way worse than housing. So, I don't understand how she feels this is going to satisfy her, the noise and the amount of cars on the road that she speaks about often. That's it.
Thank you, Peter. Other questions from the committee? Mr. Haverty, as long as you're on, did you want to say anything?
Thank you. I won't belabor the points from town council regarding the Pheasant Ridge case. I did just want to point out that one of the specific things that the court mentioned was that the use of the power of eminent domain solely for a reason that is not proper, although the stated public purpose is a plainly valid one, is a violation. And the court also found that taking the property to prevent the impact of the proposed development on the water, sewer, traffic, and other problems of the town would not have been action in good faith. And that's clearly what the purpose is here. We see that the project proponent has listed a number of potentially valid uses that may have been a legitimate reason for taking a property if they had gone through a legitimate planning process. But as the prior speaker just noted, a lot of what they're suggesting here doesn't make sense from a planning purpose, from an economic purpose for the town. Ball fields would increase traffic. The senior housing, would increase the cost total for that. There's been absolutely zero public planning process that has occurred relating to this property. And it would clearly be an act of bad faith for town meeting to vote to take it by eminent domain. it would be an act of bad faith for the select board to actually follow through on a vote and take my client's property via eminent domain. And I want to point out that in the Pheasant Ridge case, not only did they invalidate the taking as having been done in bad faith, but there was actually an award of damages for a civil rights violation, again, by the town against the property owner in that matter. So, clearly there is great risk to the town if it wanted to try to move forward and take this property via eminent domain. And I would strongly recommend that the Finance Committee recommend against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions from the committee? If not, may I have a motion? Jill?
Motion not to adopt.
Second.
Second, okay, Jill made the motion, seconded by Joanna. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Joe?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Rob? You're muted, but I saw your lips move. It's okay. Joanna?
Aye.
And Denise? Jeremy?
Aye.
Denise, aye. It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we have general discussion, deliberation, and potential motions for warrant articles for the annual town meeting 2025. Is there anyone in this meeting that wants to discuss any one of the specific articles that is not listed on our agenda? Okay, now I'm moving on to committee reports. Any of the committee members have an update from the last time we met a few days ago? Seeing no one raising their hands, okay, I'm going to move on to, so the date of our next meeting is actually Saturday, February 1st, to do the budgets. We will not be looking at any articles on that day, Joe, to your earlier question to me. So it's just budgets. Stephen, is there a agenda with timings for which budgets are coming up? Which is it going to always look like it has in the previous weeks?
There was slight changes to DPW got moved up a little bit, but it looks more or less the same.
Okay,
I can send that out after.
If you'd send that out, and then are all the links for all the budget stories available now for in the document? We're missing a few.
All of them are available except for solid waste.
Okay, so
Which
you'll
is-
send out that as well, and then when solid waste is out, you'll send that too?
Yes, and I'm hoping that will be tomorrow morning.
Okay, perfect. So, go ahead, Joe.
Is the waste in addition to the DPW, or is that a separate item?
Solid waste is a separate item.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So that check your emails, folks, for the up-to-date information. And so that'll be for Saturday, again, fully remote as it always is. So enjoy your virtual donuts that I'm sending, to your house. And that was always a big complaint when we stopped doing it in person, that there was no donuts. So it's
But to get your own.
okay, kids, buy your own
Buy your own
donuts. So, all right. So that was the other business, and then just a reminder, on Monday, February 3rd is going to be the second public hearing on the warrant. I will read through each warrant article. There are 104. For your information, 37 of them are zoning related, and the rest aren't, obviously. And then I'm working together with Libby on Thursday to kind of put together a schedule of which articles we'll talk about when in the remaining part of the season. So then that way we should have a pretty good idea of which articles we'll be seeing going forward. Libby, did you want to add anything about the warrant?
Not really. It's out. It's on the website. I'm gonna start working on getting your motions in that you have already voted. And, as Janice said, we're meeting to go over more, she and I, later in the week. I'll just mention that Denise has also very generously offered to help town staff do a little bit more in-depth prep for warrant article explanations at town meeting. And I think what we would like to do, if I already mentioned this, just tell me and I won't keep going. But what we'd like to do is at the very beginning before any articles are called, I think that's how it would work. Either myself or Brian or somebody else undetermined just yet will give a brief, less than 5 minutes, hopefully, overview of the fiscal 26 budget and the fiscal 26 capital, but also the long-term capital. We had a few people comment after last year's town meeting that they would have liked to have understood what is on the horizon for future capital projects, and that would have perhaps informed their own personal decisions as to what they would vote on larger capital projects. So we heard that and think it's a good idea. So we're going to be working on that, and also working on, for articles that are called town articles, there's going to be a point of contact, and that individual will be responsible for, again, a brief explanation of the article if it's called before discussion starts, and to be the central point of any questions. And Denise is going to help us focus in on that and make explanations and answers to questions crisp.
Yeah, I thought I'd get extra mileage out of all the media training I got during my career. So here we go. My per usage time will be down to 50 cents. There we go. So, yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, well, don't thank me till it's done. And then you'll say, well, that was not, what? So good. Okay. Any other business before I ask for an adjournment? Seeing none, may I have an adjournment, please?
So moved.
Second.
Made by Peter, seconded by Jill. Roll call. Joe,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Joanna,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Denise, I, as always, thank you, Libby, Susan, Stephen, John, good to see all of you. And I look forward to seeing FinCom on Saturday. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.